Whenever native gold is identified on a mineral prospect, explorationists get very excited and are very encouraged by that prospect. Hi, George Sanders, President, Goldcliff Resource Corporation, and today we want to talk about our latest sampling results from the Kettle Valley Gold and Silver Project. This video is being released in conjunction with our news release today, a copy of which can be found on our website and on any quotation service. So what we want to do in this video is provide a little color or context rather than simply reinterpret what has already been reported in the news release. So what we'd like to do today is tell you, as a result of various phases of work at Kettle Valley, everything that we now know about this project, and also explain to you some of the things that we need to learn about it going forward. So the first thing we'd point out is that the North Cliff Zone and the original Cliff Zone are both featured or both found on this highly prominent topographical feature, and here you will see a visual of that feature, this big ridge. Now this ridge was formed as part of the graben forming activity in geologic time, and the structural part of that activity was extensive cracking and faulting in a north-south direction. Into that was at least one, maybe more, hydrothermal pulses, and that produced the very extensive silicification and the very extensive epithermal textures and characteristics that we see throughout the ridge and on the North Cliff Zone. Thing is, we believe now that that initial pulse, or those first early pulses, as powerful as they were devoid of precious metals mineralization. A little later in geologic time, perhaps as there was movement along those north-south structures, they were also intersected by northwest-southeast and east-west structures, and we believe there were at least a couple of hydrothermal events along those pathways, and we believe it was those events that deposited the precious metals mineralization that we have sampled to date at Kettle Valley. That mineralization for gold and silver ranges in grades from highly anomalous to bulk tonnage grades, which are 1/4 of a gram to a gram, and then up to moderate grades of over 2 grams gold and over 100 grams per ton silver. So, big system, active over geologic time, multiple pulses, good grade mineralization in place, but not everywhere. Second thing that we know, and this work in November and the results that we released today reporting on that work tell us, very importantly, that the mineralization occurs as free gold or native gold. It's not gold tied up in sulfides, and in fact there are very few sulfides reporting in the assays or identified in any of the rocks. So we're dealing with free gold. That's initially a little bit of a sampling challenge, but we think we're making very good headway with that. The free gold is not coarse grained. It is visible with a hand lens, and it does tend to be in discrete or smaller grains. I would say pinpoint to pinhead size. So is visible with a hand lens, but not your typical coarse grained gold. This may have advantages in the future for ease of metallurgical recovery and potential mill circuits should a deposit be located and a gravity circuit can be employed to recover the free gold. A third thing that we know is that this mineralization occurs across different lithologies, so there's no one prominent host rock, as they say, and it occurs in, I'll call it, different styles of delivery. Some of the good grade gold occurs in quartz veining, some of it occurs in quartz stockwork, and some of it occurs in breccias. And we don't know yet if that's the result of multiple pulses or just what that's about. We also know, fourth thing, that the reported good grade gold occurs over a substantial distance. The southernmost sample is 250 meters away from the northernmost sample on a north-south direction, and in an east-west direction we have a horizontal range of 150 meters. The highest elevation sample to the lowest elevation sample provides us with an elevation range of 80 meters as the ridge slopes from south to north. So we're finding visible, free or native gold occurring over an extensive distance. So those are the things we know. What are the things that we need to learn? So far, most of the sampling that's been undertaken on the property is mostly of a reconnaissance nature, so it hasn't been extensive. So we don't yet have some obvious standout, like a big vein sticking out of the ground, or a particular intrusion, or a particular rock type. As we say, the gold tends to be in different rock units and over different places. So we need to learn what are the pathways, what are the systems that may lead us to some continuity of this free gold mineralization. As I said, most of the work has been of a reconnaissance nature. We're going to put up a little clip here of the activity that we undertook in November. And by the way, we've included 2 lengths of videos that we shot last November when we were actually undertaking that work. The clip that you're going to see was not part of those videos, but it gives you an idea of what the ground looks like, the limited overburden cover, where some outcrops are, some subcrops, some float. So as I'm recording this, a field crew is just finishing up in the next day or two a program of hand excavating continuous surface exposure. So we're down in this area, moving from east to west, removing the overburden and the topsoil for continuous widths or lengths across the width of surface exposure. That's going to range from between 2 meters up to 20 meters. We'll have a number of these. We will be shooting a video again in 10 days, 2 weeks of that completed work so that you have an idea of what it looks like. But the purpose of this exercise is much more detailed sampling of surface exposure, detailed mapping to see if we can uncover some correlations between grade and structure, or causes of where grade is, why it's here, and why it's not there. So that's the next level of activity that's going on. Some of it actually happening as I record this. And all of that will give us better, more complete information as to where to spot drill holes. So, very excited with the grades we're seeing, very excited that it's occurring as free gold. This property just keeps looking better and better for us, but we do want to really tighten up the drill targets before we move into a highly expensive drill program. As I said, we will be doing a follow-up video to this so that you can get a handle on what that continuous surface exposure looks like. And as usual, stay tuned.